Hello! Welcome to another video. Hi, how are ya? Good to see ya. This video is good old casual artsy vlogo. There's some very fun like keyboard footage in there too. A little bit of like some outings here and there. It's a very fun video. But before I can show you this video, I have to bring you a word from our sponsor. This video has been very, very kindly sponsored by Tears of Themis. Tears of Themis is a romantic game developed by Hoyoverse, the very same folks behind Genshin Impact, and it is a game where you're combining romance and wits, because it's a detective game, but there's also a lot of beautiful men in it that you get to experience these beautiful, immersive romantic stories with. They have a brand new event dropping on August 24th called Revisiting Youth, and it features all new story cards based around this idea of like a school time romance. I mean, it's beautiful. Just look at them. So if you're like, what's this game with all these pretty men about anyway, Cheyenne? I'm glad you asked. Like I said, Tears of Themis is a romance game developed by Hoyoverse, and you're working to get to the bottom of the mystery of the city of Stellis, because all of the citizens, like these very good, upstanding citizens, have suddenly grown very like volatile and violent, and there's someone who was able to get recordings of these events, but somehow all of that data got corrupted, and there's just a lot of stuff that you have to sift through, and it is up to you, this brand new, bright-eyed, up-and-coming detective, to get to the bottom of the mystery. You'll explore the city of Stellis, you will talk to and maybe inspect various NPCs if they're a little bit shady, you'll collect evidence, and then it will be up to you to decide what evidence to present in the court trials at the end of every story arc. Every event, like the Revisiting Youth event, is its own sort of like enclosed story, but they all lead to solving the greater mystery of the city of Stellis. And now you're like, but wait, you said romance. I did indeed say romance. As you roleplay as this bright-eyed up-and-coming detective, you will have the chance to create cherished memories with the 4 unique male characters. You will get to build these relationships with these eligible bachelors through immersive stories, video messages with beautiful illustrations and fully voice-acted scenes. You can get closer to them through fun mini games and dynamic conversations. They all have like their own charms. I'm kind of partial to Artem. He has like the very, extremely competent, very kind, like ace attorney thing going on. I talk a good bit in this video about like stylizing, pretty boys and how I'm trying to work that out, and it's because I was working on this piece of fan art of Artem. He's, very handsome, very stylish, very put together, very crisp. He's always in some kind of like crisp professional outfit. So I wanted to draw him in a handful of fun outfits that aren't his like usual standard suit and tie situation, and it was super fun to work on this. So the Revisiting Youth event starts on August 24th, the very same day that this video drops, and they've got all new kinds of mechanics. They have like all these cute new romance events, new story cards, like I said, and it just all looks so darling. It's so cute. So be sure to check out Tears of Themis, revisit your youthful school days, and perhaps get swept up in a whirlwind of romance and mystery along the way. Thank you again to Tears of Themis for sponsoring this video. And now, onto the vlog. So, I have recently just kind of fully embraced the fact that I'm a streamer and a nerd, and I got myself, I don't know if y'all know anything about keyboards, but I got myself the Keychron V1, baby. I wanted to get the Q3 with like the white base, but it was like $200, and I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $200 on a keyboard right now. So this was, I think it's under $100. Which is incredible. It has amazing reviews. I got it with red switches, I think. Did I get it with red or did I get it with... Oh, and it has a little thing that I can use to change the keycaps, because I also got a set of keycaps, so... Oh. Ooh. Oh. Damn. Wow, look at that. Hang on, I want to make sure that you can see it. Look at that. So gorgeous. And the reason why I got this specifically for my studio is I can use this with my MacBook. Because I have a second monitor in here now, which makes just like working on my laptop a lot easier, but ever since getting, well, hang on, let me turn so you can see my face. Hi. Let me back up a bit. So basically ever since I like got my gaming PC and I have discovered the wonders of a good keyboard, I can't type on like my MacBook keyboard anymore. Also, it's very warm in here, so it's not even that hot today, but it is very humid, so I may need to turn my fan. So I can't type on the MacBook keyboard anymore. I just can't do it. So I got this one because it's wireless and it also has like a little, it comes with the command and option key for fucking Macs, which makes me so happy. I also got a custom keycap set. These are really beautiful. I like how rounded the edges on this one are, but my keycap set that I got is very cute. So I want to go ahead and probably put that on, but I'm so excited. Let's customize this bad boy, okay? Also, yes, everything is a mess. I know. This is what my studio looks like the majority of the time. I'm not one of those people who has a pristine studio. I'm so sorry to say. Very cute. Ooh. Amazing. Okay, so the keycap set that I got is this very cute kind of retro style set. I really like the colors, and I got this one specifically because I thought that it would go really well with the black base, and I do love these keys. What's the profile on these? Because these seem way shorter. They are a lot shorter, aren't they? Oh, is this the cherry? So I recently got SA keycaps, which are like the really, really tall ones. And I love those. These are really shallow. I'll replace one row and we'll see how we feel. That's handy.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. I think she's gonna live for a while. And this is where we hit probably the most controversial as almost an act of mercy, because her being drunk all the time.
So I thought that this was wireless. It is not wireless, which is fine. I just really gotta work on my cable management. I don't really love it when keycap sets have these kind of like little custom buttons. I got another keycap set, also from davinci. That one had like a bunch of different sizes for like the shift keys and stuff. This one definitely didn't have as many. I think I might get another set. But it does already work with my Mac, which is awesome. I don't have to worry about remapping the keys, which is sick. So I'm going to look for another set of keycaps and also do some cable management, maybe tidy a bit, and then I got to head home. It's already 5 o'clock. I spent all day at home today editing my sketchbook tour videos, so yes. All right.
Your dinner or your late night snack evaporates. Maybe. I feel a little bad calling it a Avatar ripoff.
The music is great.
The music is great. How is it going?
It's going really well.
You're almost done.
Super taking shape.
That's so
The
exciting.
mechanics are really cool.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah, so just fleshing it out.
I love you. Little baby. So the beauty of owning black cats is that you never know where they're gonna turn up. Hi, Miss Pepper. Is my yarn basket comfy? Oh yeah, she went right back to snooze. I was gonna go through my yarn stash to look for some stuff, but never mind. Hi, baby girl. God, she's so cute. I love these keycaps so much that I actually have half a mind to just buy a second set for my office. Because they're just perfect. Sophie. Honey, do you want to make biscuits with me? Good morning. My tiny little love. Pretty. Hello.
Cells. Interlinked. Cells.
Interlinked.
Interlinked. My nose is a little dry.
The little look to camera.
I don't know how to make shadow puppets. Oh, this is just two hands. I don't know how you do this thing. That's pretty good.
Connor finished his Lego typewriter.
It's pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Yes, does it work? So I have to film a video and be like, here's what it does.
So cool. Can you rotate the paper?
Yeah. Here.
Oh, paper. Are you going to be a typist now? She has to mark it.
I love it.
Pepper.
Wow. Okay.
Hello. Hi. Happy Saturday. Oh, hi, Sophie. Please don't eat my yogurt. Okay, goodbye. This is her new favorite spot is right behind my keyboard, but are you on a mission, baby? Do you have other things to do? Clearly. Hopefully it's not terrorize your sister. My little girly pops. Anyway, hi. So, it's been a hot minute since we last spoke. But while I have been off camera, I have been practicing dudes a lot. I've been practicing drawing dudes because this video is sponsored by Tears of Themis. Thank you again, Tears of Themis. And a part of that sponsorship deal was that I got to make, or I get to make some fan art of Artem. And like I said, you know, he usually wears like really crisp, clean suits and stuff. And so I was like, I want to put him in fun clothes. But first, I got to get more comfortable drawing pretty boys. So I've just been practicing drawing pretty boys. And it's been going really well. I'm very happy with how it's been turning out. I've also been getting a lot more confidence in my hands. Like my hands, I feel like have been looking better. I feel like my hands have been looking a lot better. I definitely feel a little more confident now drawing like men or drawing more masculine figures, which feels awesome. It's always exciting when you can like see your progress. Sophie is crawling into her cat condo, my little angel. So yeah, and I think it was actually last Saturday where I was specifically working on, I was trying to figure out what outfits I was going to put them in. So I was on Pinterest. I love Pinterest for reference photos. And I looked up just like men's streetwear, and I found a couple different inspos, but I basically I decided to put him in like an e-boy kind of fit, and then like an oversized scarf with like a big comfy sweater and like some nice pants, like nice sort of like checkered pants. And then I also, it's that look where you're wearing like a hoodie, but then you have like a pea coat over it kind of thing. That one, I was struggling with the pose quite a bit because I wanted it to have a little bit of motion to it so that they weren't all just him standing. Something that I constantly have to tell myself, it's like, done is better than perfect. This isn't exactly how you want it to be, but it's fine. And that frankly, that is getting easier and easier for me to live with, which is also super thrilling in terms of my like artistic development. But I've got the sketch on my iPad. I've got it all sketched up. And so I am probably going to just be sat on the couch. You see, okay, this is my problem. I've been seeing so many Fleabag TikToks on my For You page, and I really want to watch Fleabag, but I also know that I'm going to be like so emotionally invested. I don't think it's a show that I should watch while I'm working. This is why I just watch YouTube videos, y'all. This is why I just watch 3-hour-long video essays on a pretty constant loop, because it's like, it gives my little ADHD brainworms like the hit of dopamine that they are literally constantly starved of. So it gives me the like dopamine hit, but because the content is so familiar to me, especially after I watch it like the first time, it's no longer distracting. And so it's stimulating enough to like keep my brain happy and occupied, but not so much that it like distracts from my work. I very rarely listen to music when I'm working. It's usually some kind of audio like that. I feel like that's why I also don't listen to audiobooks while I work very often, because I worry that I'm gonna miss information, but maybe that's stupid. I don't know. We're gonna post up on the couch after I finish my yogurt, and we're gonna draw some fun, stylish Artem outfits. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it today, but I do have the sketch, and I'm taking a pretty simplistic coloring approach with this piece, where I'm going to have fun with the line art. The line art's going to be a little bit sketchy, and then I'll probably do the flats. I will recolor the line art accordingly, and then I am probably just going to add like some noise on top of it. Again, I usually spend way too long on line art making it look like exactly and perfect, and I saw a TikTok the other day actually where it was like, if you find that your line art never captures the same kind of movement or the same sort of like freedom as your sketch, it's because when you do your line art, you're just tracing over your sketch as opposed to drawing it again. And I was like, oh, so we're gonna be practicing that too. All right. I have some fun yarn things to show you too before we get into that. Okay, so the first fiber thing that I have to show you is this beautiful hand-dyed yarn. Like, oh my god, it's so stunning. I don't know why, but this camera's having a very hard time focusing on it. Maybe it's because there's so many colors going on. But it's my first ever skeins of hand-dyed yarn, and I'm gonna use them to make like a cute little tank top. I have been having, I started on one pattern and then I unraveled it. Pardon the mess on my desk. So these are little pouches that I've been simply obsessed with making. This one is actually for Radia, and this one is for Lee, but it's essentially 4 granny squares. It's like 2 panels of 2 granny squares that I then seam together using a single crochet seam, and then I sew a little zipper lining for it, and so it's like a little pencil pouch situation. The way that these came out is basically just like a conglomerate of a bunch of different YouTube tutorials that I watched on like how to make granny square zipper pouches, and none of them were quite what I was looking for, and so I was able to learn from them and adjust and make my own shit. And then I also made this little one. It's like a little it's like a little coin purse. So, well, I'm going to Sweden next week, and so I'm actually going to use this to carry my meds. These are very cute and I like them a lot. Making the linings is really fun. The first thing I ever sewed on my sewing machine was one of these little zipper linings, little zipper pouches, because I've been really scared. I got a secondhand sewing machine for $20, I think back in 2020, and I didn't start using it until this year because for some reason I was so afraid of the sewing machine, because I was like, oh, we've got the bobbin and all this other stuff, and then I was like, I really want to make this pouch. Okay, because I found that my little sewing machine did indeed come with a zipper foot, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn, and I did, and it went great. And it's old hat now, and so now I'm like, okay, well, now I gotta start making my own clothes. Besides just like knitting or crocheting, I gotta start sewing my own stuff. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna make some tea. I'm probably gonna throw Carrie Can Read on the television. Or Mike's Mike does have his Pretty Little Liars Original Sin recap I've only watched it once, so maybe now it's time for my second viewing. And then we're just gonna be working on that Artem fan art. And I'm honestly excited to see how it turns out. Yay, I did it! I was able to finish I was able to finish my Artem drawing and like not, you know, and have a good time while doing it, which was very exciting. I think my favorite one, I knew this was gonna be my favorite one, but my favorite one is definitely the one with like the scarf and the big sweater and the plaid pants, just because any opportunity I have to draw people in big comfy sweaters is always a win for me, because I am of the full conviction that fall and winter are the superior seasons. I'm really not a summer person. I don't know what to tell y'all. Yay, here, I can also I'll put it up here. This is like my finished, full, complete piece. I might add some little like background details here and there, just to, you know, add a little bit of visual interest, but overall, I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. This was a really great exercise in just sort of stepping a little bit more out of my comfort zone. Gave me an excuse and a reason to really lean into my studies, which is always exciting. But that's all I have for you today. That's going to be the end of this vlogo. This is the note that I'm going to leave you on. I want to say again, thank you so much to Tears of Themis for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out the link in the description. Check it out in the description. I also want to say, of course, thank you so much to my patrons. Oh my God. Thank you so much to my patrons. I love y'all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for just being wonderful and lovely and all those good things. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're doing okay. It is so warm in my apartment today, so I might need to make a batch of sweet tea. We'll see. I hope you're doing all right. Happy time zone. Hope it's a good one wherever it is, wherever you are. Stay frosty, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.